Strangers from the YouTubes. Ooh,
he's from the YouTubes.
I have been waiting about 14 years to use that gag. Come on, you really think I wasn't gonna cover this game at some point? This is one of my favorite games from back in the day, and I've got some unfinished business with it here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. We've got another first for this series, a movie tie-in. This game loosely follows the plot of Toy Story 2, where Buzz Lightyear embarks on a journey to find and rescue Woody after he's stolen by Al, of Al's Toy Barn fame. It's a platformer and collectathon in the same vein as Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, or why am I telling you this? You already know this game, don't you? If you don't, you can find Rex blocks around the levels to teach you the mechanics and how to play, or explain a particular puzzle to you, and the camera helpfully pans to give context to that information. We begin our journey in Andy's house, and Andy's room serves as a safe space to learn about pushing, double jumping, climbing poles, zip lines, and the targeting mode. You even get an extra life as a reward. If you already know all that, you can skip it and jump right into the action. You've got all of Andy's house to explore, so where do you go? What do you do? What's the goal? What do I need all these coins for? Well, my first time playing, I found RC in the garage, and he challenged me to a race around the car. If I won, I'd get a Pizza Planet token. Ooh, what do I use those for? Discounts at Pizza Planet? I wish. No, the Pizza Planet tokens are how you progress. You need to unlock at least one in any given level if you want to move on. Alright, challenge accepted. Here we go. There are a few enemies in the way, but they don't stand a chance against Buzz's super laser. Not only does Buzz's laser actually work, as you've seen, but you can find a pickup that gives it a major damage boost. My mom's sister and I always called it the green toothpick, because that's what the pickup looks like. But it doesn't help if I can't keep up the pace with RC. I remember seeing him running away with it back then and deciding to just bail on the race and go elsewhere. If you leave the area, the race is called off, and you can come back whenever you want to try again. And that's when I discovered there's other ways to get tokens in the level. Ham wants 50 coins, Bo Peep is missing 5 of her sheep, there's a token up on the shelves in the basement, and the Tin Robot boss awaits in the attic. I remember the token in the basement caught my attention, but I needed a way to get across the green sludge. To that end, I had to find Mr. Potato Head's ear, and in exchange, he let me use the Cosmic Shield. It makes me invincible long enough to cross the sludge, but it nerfs my jump height, so I have to wait for it to wear off before I can continue. Of course, there is another way to get over there without the Cosmic Shield, but I don't think it was the intended solution. Don't you just love developer oversight? I have speedrunners to thank for cluing me into that strategy, but I can't pull off all their tricks, so instead of getting a tricky jump from this tall box, I gotta push the boxes into position the old-fashioned way. Still, I do have one trick to expedite the process. Every level in the game has a unique challenge like this to find a token, and this was the easiest. Bo Peep's sheep aren't especially hard to find either. The more platforming puzzles and obstacles the game puts in your way, the more likely there's a collectible waiting for you at the end. And there are plenty of obstacles to go around in this game. Live table saws and drill presses, an unattended pot of boiling water, a malfunctioning stove, a runaway lawnmower. The environment itself can be just as deadly as the toys that are after you. The red spring bots and blue propeller bots are your bread and butter enemies for a while, but every level has a mini-boss as well, like this Tin Robot. I used to be intimidated by this thing because I had no idea how to beat it. The secret to the boss is keep running and wait for it to stop to wind itself up, and that's the only moment when you can damage it. I lost more lives than I care to admit fighting this thing back then because I fundamentally misunderstood the mechanic. I got my ass handed to me by one of the easiest bosses in the game because I was desperate for tokens. Because frankly, I sucked at this game. Either way, all you have to do to beat this guy is play Matador long enough and land enough hits to kill him. Andy's neighborhood is where things get more interesting. RC is back and he wants to race you around the garden, but you can't beat him until you unlock the rocket boots, which you can't do until later on. So the race against RC is unbeatable. Or so I was led to believe back then. All you have to do is get in front of him and block him every time he tries to overtake. Nothing, not even the wet concrete, slows him down. so if you keep letting him bump into you from behind, you win. Unfortunately, this never occurred to me as a kid, and I just realized there's no way to beat him. Not in a way the developers intended anyway. So I was already locked out of getting one of the 5 tokens. Emphasis was. Here, I just used the trick to beat him here and now so that I don't have to come back later, even though ironically, it would have been faster to just go get the rocket boots and come back, but whatever. A new enemy type is introduced that's faster and a little tougher than the spring bots, but they're limited to the ground, so it balances out. Lasers, spin attacks, stomp attacks, use whatever you need to get rid of them. From here on out, getting tokens is pretty much the same story. 50 coins for ham, swap Bo Peep's sheep for army men, and solve a basic physics puzzle to get the token over the pool. Honestly, it was entertaining enough to just wander around and explore these levels, and Andy's neighborhood was one of my favorites to do it in. Everyday appliances serve as both obstacles and means of getting to places that Buzz couldn't otherwise reach. And sometimes, you can open up shortcuts for yourself in case you fall off. They really do drive home the point that you're a toy in this game. And it leads to fun moments like this. And moments of realizing there were other ways you could get up there and wondering, was that intentional? They obviously wanted me to bounce off the car, but was this just another option? Oh well, at least sliding down the clotheslines is fun. Climbing the tree, however, is another story.
Buzz! Over here!
I don't know how the hell Ham made it up here, but he makes it look easy. I suck at platformers, and the precision required is a bit much for my liking. It probably doesn't help that I'm using a keyboard instead of a controller, but the timing of some of these jumps is tricky even then. And if you fall, you have to clamber all the way back up. Sure, there is a rope that'll help you get back up there, but you've still got a boring climb ahead of you, and it doesn't even get you past the trickiest parts. Just gotta time it right. There we go. Okay, do not fall. Do not fall. Awaiting you at the top of the tree is the Zurg kite, and he's a pretty uneventful fight. It can only damage you by touching you, so your biggest fear at this point is getting knocked back and falling off the tree. You do not have a lot of room to work with up here. You're just as liable to accidentally jump off as he is to knock you off. But if you have the green toothpick, you can kill him in 3 shots. This tree is a textbook example of hard level easy boss. It's harder to reach him than it is to actually fight him.
To infinity and beyond!
Every 3rd level is a boss battle, but you need enough tokens first. 3 tokens will get you access to Bombs Away. Everything seems quiet at first, until... It's as if the game is saying, alright, enough playing around, let's see what you got. No tokens to collect here, all you have to do is kill the boss. And the hell if he's gonna make it easy for you. Like the Zurg kite, this one is airborne, but unlike the Zurg kite, this one can actually attack from range. There's a nice opportunity when he comes low for an attack, especially if you charge up your laser first. There's plenty more opportunities to hit him when he gets close, but good luck lining up your shot. Even the first-person lock-on doesn't help much. You gotta get your head in the game. Still, the plane is mobile, but not especially durable. Once you beat him, you can move on to the next level, Construction Yard.
To infinity and beyond!
Well, I don't remember this from the movie, but I can respect creative liberties when it gives us fun and plausible locales to explore. We've got another new enemy in the form of this UFO that fires green lasers. To me, they always look like robot geese or something. But apparently, it's based on the Martian ships from the 1953 film, War of the Worlds. I kinda see the resemblance. Slinky wants you to jump around in wet cement to grab wrenches, a little tyke foreman is missing his contractors, and these drawers were a pain in my ass back in the day, but are very easily bypassed. And after all that, to get the token, you must complete a color puzzle for 5-year-olds. Riveting. The real challenge from this level comes from climbing the girder structure. It's a long and tricky path to the top, dodging piping hot rivets and using suspended I-beams as makeshift platforms, but there's an elevator you can use to expedite your return, which is good because you need to find Potato Head's eye first so you can get the homing disc launcher, which is the only way to damage the jackhammer boss. Getting up here as a kid was painful enough, but the jackhammer was damn scary. He shakes the camera and spits rivets everywhere, threatening to knock you all the way down again. And his face, ugh. The otherwise worthless disc launcher is the only way to kill him. But if you step off the main girder structure, or otherwise leave the main arena area, he loses interest and goes back to the middle. He may not be the hardest boss, but he is one of the most intimidating. Tougher than the Zurg kite, but you have more space to fight with. That's easier to fall off of. Strangely, the vibe for the overview of alleys and gullies is deceptively ominous. Because the music is upbeat and jazzy, while still keeping in line with the rainy day vibe. Great music, but I'm not crazy about the level itself. Let's just say it's very courteous of them to give you a green toothpick here, because, believe me, you're gonna need it. I mean, these boxes that spit out planes are the toughest non-boss enemy in the game. The planes go down like they're nothing, but look how many laser hits it takes. Since the green laser does 4 or 5 times the damage, you can do the math from there. This is also the first and last time you see these purple ship enemies, since this is the only water-based level in the game. Navigating the gully is annoying since the platforms don't always sync up, but getting the bones for Slinky isn't hard, as long as you don't fall. The real problem down here stems from the marketplace. On top of yet another one of these annoyingly durable plane boxes, there's ledges Buzz won't reliably grapple onto, obnoxiously precise platforming, and a new pain-in-the-ass enemy. These soldiers deflect your lasers with their shields, so only melee attacks or the disc launcher will damage them. Oh yeah, and you can only get 3 tokens from the get-go because you need the rocket boots and the grappling hook to get the other 2. We'll come back for those, but this is not the end of my grievances with alleys and gullies. Actually, we're not done here yet. We've still got the boss to fight. And I've got some curious history with this one. Now this is how you set the mood for a boss fight. Dark, moody, rain and thunder. The perfect backdrop for a fight with a slime monster. This is a button masher boss. To beat him, you just spam your laser to force him back into his trash can, only for him to come back bigger every time. He's not hard, just a pain in the ass, or a pain on your finger. But the weirdest part for me was when I fought him for the first time ever. For some reason, the puddle of water lost collision and turned into a bottomless pit, which would kill Buzz if he fell in. I have no idea why it happened, and I found no documentation about it online. It's so strange, but it's a vivid memory. I know for a fact it happened. Just as I remember, then as now, the green toothpick spawns in, ready to help me take down this bastard's final form. But he keeps jumping around and regenerating himself, and even clips inside a hitbox where I can't reach him. That's fair. You see what I mean though? He's not hard, he's just tedious. All he's doing is delaying his inevitable demise. But finally, I whittle him down, force him back into the trash can, and he's done. Serves you right, you gelatinous waste of space.
To infinity and beyond!
Now that that's over with, we can move on to Al's Toy Barn. I love that this hub shows the aftermath of the toys crossing the road to get here. That's adorable. As for the level itself, it's one of the most enjoyable in the whole game. For one thing, you get the green toothpick right off the bat, so you can make short work of all the enemies, including the completely useless dinosaur boss. He's slow, has a short range attack, and as you can see, he's already dead. So why bother with the boss music? This is where you finally unlock the rocket boots, letting you zip around some of the levels and finally beat RC in the neighborhood race. Except now you go so fast it's not even fair. It wasn't fair before, but this is a total overcorrection. And just to tease you, there's one more unlockable you need here that you can't get until much later. Not that the hover boots are especially exciting, you only get to use them 3 times over 2 levels. Without them, the last of Mother Hen's chicks is out of reach. Another is in an egg at the end of a little gauntlet, requiring you to reach it before the time runs out. Then you have to do it again, with a shorter time limit, but there's a Pizza Planet token this time. The rocket boots provide a nice plan B if you mess up the first round, but you don't have time for that on the second run. This little gauntlet is actually meant to help you reach the hay bale ride, so you can get bounced to the chick on top of the gumball machines. But there's another sneaky way to get up there. I love breaking games like that. The sports aisle has some fun obstacles and challenges. Only in a Toy Story game would basketballs and hula hoops serve as obstacles. I love that they take the toy motif and just run with it. A toy in a toy store, dodging other toys. What's not to love? After using the disc launcher to unlock the drawers and reach the last token, we can move on to the next level. Remember when Andy's Buzz found an aisle full of Buzz Lightyears? Al's Spaceland took that theme and made a whole level out of it. Remember Utility Belt Buzz? He's the stage boss, but contrary to the film, Andy's Buzz comes out on top this time. I'd show you what happened in the movie, but I don't have the budget to fight off a cease and desist from the Disney Corporation. Why do you think I've been skipping over the clips from the movie? I show one too many of those clips, and this video will get nuked off the face of the earth faster than you can say fair use. I'd have better luck plucking the token out of this claw machine. Good grief, I've played actual claw machines less rigged than this. How did I miss that token? I was right on it. At least the attention to detail is still top-notch. Look at those arcade machines. And the ball pit, adorably, is functionally identical to wet cement. They just changed the particle effect to plastic balls. And I adore that they found a way to keep the races fresh by giving you a zipline race against a UFO. Yeah, nice pop-in, by the way. It can't be helped. This game was temperamental even back then. As if things weren't hard enough from a gameplay standpoint, because I remember finding this zipline race deceptively tricky as a kid. Getting this game to run properly and look decent was a pain in my ass. I went through most, if not all, the game not once, not twice, 3 times to get footage. The repack version had lighting problems, no anti-aliasing without forcing it, and lots of pop-in. Bound and determined, I used my own copy and Ribshark's patch, but I still had to contend with pop-in and Z-fighting. What you're seeing is the third and final attempt, and it's about as good as it's gonna get on PC. I recommend the original PlayStation version. Meanwhile, over here, we've got the Cosmic Shield, in case you want protection from the laser battle going on between the Buzz Lightyears and Zurgs in this aisle. But you can stand out in the open and be perfectly safe. They only hit you if you touch the floor. So the Zurgs can ignore you, and the Buzzes aren't above friendly fire. Now that's funny. I am some kind of elephant in the room here. In more ways than one. Back in 2012, I did a Let's Play of this game, but it stopped short of this level. The intro to the video you're watching right now was how I planned to introduce the Al's Spaceland video. Yes, I held on to that idea for 14 years. Better late than never, right? I did stream the whole game to Twitch, but that was years ago. Maybe I'll stream it to YouTube one of these days. Our next boss is the Toy Barn Encounter. I feel like this was a missed opportunity for a Buzz Lightyear mirror match. What you get instead is a giant UFO that deploys lesser enemies. The music is more exciting than the battle. Still, this is thematically significant because it acts as a sort of last stand for Zurg's minions. When we get to the next level, you'll see what I mean. What always bothered me is that the UFO is arbitrarily invincible until you destroy the robots it sends after you. But there's a fun little exploit where you can regain movement if you hit it with a charged spin attack. Play it right, and you can destroy the enemies in the pods before they can even do anything. Just another speedrunner discovery. This may be tedious, but again, the music carries the moment. This game has some of the best and most varied music you could hope to hear in a video game. The themes from Andy's House, Alleys and Gullies, Al's Penthouse, and more have lived rent-free in my head since I first played. Not to mention the race and mini-boss themes. This song definitely matches the vibe of fending off against an intergalactic threat. And it is a threat. The last 2 pods send shield soldiers after you. I never like dealing with these guys. They deflect your laser, and they charge you on sight. But they only appear so many times, and they go down easily enough. Once you take care of all the giant UFO's underlings, all you have to do is shoot it till it's dead. Wait, where in the Toy Barn did this even take place? What the f- Elevator hop is one of the more intimidating levels. That ambience is fitting, but not exactly reassuring. And the level's music does nothing to ease your mind either. What we have here is a level with unrivaled verticality. It's one big climb up the elevator shaft, but not without unlocking the grappling hook first. You need to grapple up the ventilation system and fight through Zurg's remnants, and some new enemies. The UFOs and shield soldiers are back, but the spring bots are replaced with rattlesnakes. Somehow, the rattlesnakes have more health than the robots, and they break apart into shreds of fabric instead of plastic and metal. But the green toothpick still makes short work of them. Doesn't work on the soldiers, but at least this is the last time we have to see them. The control room and the top of the shaft have fans you can activate to quickly bring you back up from ground level, which is a nice reward for making all that progress. But we can't actually move on until we get a token. Once you solve the puzzle to activate the elevators, you can settle for that, or take on the challenge of jumping between moving platforms to reach the top of the shaft. While it's certainly adorable that you can see the elevator stops in the shaft, it's a little tedious getting to the top because of how slow the elevators move, not to mention how high up this level goes. But I'm counting my blessings that the height of the elevator shaft isn't faithful to the film, or this would have been excruciating. Now that we're at the top, we get to race a Pizza Planet token to the bottom of the shaft. Again, I love that they always find a way to put a fun twist on this. Even if I screwed it up as a kid because I fell down the first chute, it didn't occur to me to hold forward while jumping. But we've also got the Spider Gunro boss waiting at the very top. I remember misreading it as Spider Guru, which isn't entirely off the mark. As usual, he goes down easy because the green toothpick is overpowered. I hate to say, but now that we've got the grappling hook, let's go back to alleys and gullies. Since we've got the rocket boots, we have an easier and more fun way to navigate the gully. And we can reach one of those rubber duckies. You know, the one Cat Icarus said was basically luck-based.
This umbrella and fruit stall part that you need to do to reach one of the 5 ducklings to collect is basically fucking luck-based.
Damn, I'm sure lucky I reached that duckling. I don't think it occurred to him that you can actually double jump while using the rocket boots. But I can't defend the climb to the roof. You only have one minor shortcut toward the bottom, and you risk losing most, if not all, of your progress if you fall. And for what? 2 ducklings and a boss that's ironically easier than the climb to reach it. And unlike the jackhammer boss, there's no risk of falling off. You're on solid roof, surrounded by walls. Jeez, are we done with alleys and gullies yet? Can we move on? Apology accepted. Al's penthouse is a deceptively difficult stage. All the Zurg robots have been phased out in favor of enemies that look like they're straight out of Woody's Roundup. Vultures, rattlesnakes, frontiersmen, and worst of all, a cannon in every room that keeps firing on you until you solve a platforming puzzle to destroy it. Cathartic, but by the time it's destroyed, you've already finished your business in that room. Still, it's a minor nuisance compared to the finicky platforming you're expected to do. I love the idea of flooding the bathroom to reach the upper level, but Buzz doesn't always grapple when you expect him to. Bye bye, cannon. But it is hilarious and fitting that the buttons to change the water level are right next to the respective source of water. First the bathtub, then the sink, then the shower head. And then when you leave the room, the water arbitrarily drains itself. I don't know who locks their fridge with a padlock, but climbing the fridge shelves to get onto the counter is adorable. As is jumping from light chain to reach the critter like you're expected to do, but I found an even cuter way. I kid you not, I straight up forgot the developer intended route until I got up there. I don't know if Al's bedroom is actually like this, since I'm pretty sure he was only collecting all that Woody's Roundup memorabilia so he could sell it to the museum, but I'm envious either way. This is the kind of room little Xiao would have loved. A train-themed bed with a model train going all around. God, it's just perfect. Almost perfect. I could do without that cannon trying to fire on me. I remember this puzzle giving me a little grief back in the day, but it's not especially hard. All you have to do is watch where the train is going, follow the track layout, and use the switches to guide it to the buffer. A process my younger self made needlessly difficult because he was using guess and check. Once the train is sidelined, you can push the box to get up on top of the bed and reach the token. Or you can do a precise jump and skip the whole puzzle. But I didn't remember how to do that jump, so... The trophy room is proof positive that Traveler's Tales did their homework when developing this game. It's eerily reminiscent to the movie, but there's one surprise waiting for you in here. Inside the diorama is the Gunslinger boss. He's backed up by a cannon, which you can easily destroy with the button right next to him, and he fires projectiles that you can jump over or deflect. And uniquely, when you knock him out, he doesn't explode like most of the other bosses do. Instead, he just gets knocked over. It gives you the impression that he's down, but not out. And that, kids, is what we in the business call Foreshadowing. Alright, time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Evil Emperor Zurg. Because of course he'd be a boss. That fight was one of the highlights of the film. I have two separate memories of this fight. The earliest was a brilliant, intense climactic battle against Buzz's arch nemesis. Buzz's laser doesn't work against Zurg, so you gotta get in close and hit him with spin attacks. But he doesn't hold still, so that makes this a nice dynamic fight. I managed a hard-fought victory when playing on our old Windows 95 and Windows 98 machines. But when I tried playing on the Windows XP machine, you know, the old piece of shit computer that I made my first videos on, I could never beat him. I couldn't get close enough to hit him, he kept moving away. And I can even show you what that looked like, because it happened again on my second round of gathering footage. Apparently, having a high frame rate makes him move too fast, forcing you to corner him over the abyss. But you better execute your attacks just right, or you're going down. To hit him in the air with a spin attack, you have to hit the attack button slightly before you jump. Otherwise, you'll do a stomp attack straight into the elevator shaft. Assuming you can even get close enough without falling off. This didn't happen in the pre-packed version, but as I said, that version doesn't look as good. Realizing what a fool's errand this would be, I did a quick search and found another patch that fixes this issue, and then some. It's only because of these patches that this video is even possible, let alone in widescreen resolution, so I have both Ribshark and Andet STK to thank for that. When this issue first sprouted up all those years ago, I was upset because I knew I wasn't going to be able to see the rest of the game, and I would never get another try at the next level, Airport Infiltration, the one that I never actually made it past as a kid. Man, it's bittersweet to be back here. Up until I streamed the whole game in front of a live Twitch audience, this level was but a vague memory. Of all the levels I played back then, this was the one I had the least experience with. My main memories include trying to navigate the conveyor belts at the very start, getting frustrated by the early platforming, ending up somewhere else entirely, not knowing where I was, getting lost, and chancing upon Mr. Potato Head's mouth before I even knew where he was. His dialogue without a mouth is about what I expected. And that's it. I played the level like 2 times without getting a single token. I found Rocky and he... Wait, what's he doing here? He should be back at the house. Doesn't matter, I could not figure out where all 5 of his weights were, despite a generous time limit. In hindsight, I can see why. They're pretty spread out. Alas, my memories of the game end there. But you want to see the rest of the game, don't you? Well, I can tell you that even as a grown man, this is one of the most confusing levels to navigate. I've had worse, but remember, I played the hell out of this game, except this level onward. I knew this was where I would unlock the hover boots, but I had no idea what I'd use them for. Turns out, they're the key to reaching the level's mystery token, and they let you ascend some stacked luggage to fight the prospector. Lasers don't hurt him, but spin attacks do. Not much else to say about him, right? And they pick some absolutely fiendish places to hide the little type passengers. The next level's gonna be rough, isn't it? Now we're entering uncharted territory for my younger self. 2 levels that I've never seen or played. Tarmac trouble is disappointing and problematic. For one thing, the plane is so damn loud that it drowns out everything else and makes it hard to hear. Lucky if you can even hear the damn music on this. You know what I mean? Man, I can hear my parents now telling me to turn the damn volume down. To which I'd answer, "What? You want me to come down? I'm playing Toy Story. Can it wait a minute?" I'd like to remind everyone that when I record these videos, I have to use the speakers so that the headphones don't distort the audio quality. You're getting spared. I turned the game audio down 27 decibels for this video. Positional audio on looping sound effects is broken on the PC version, which means looping sound effects are constantly blasted at max volume. I'm surprised you can't hear the plane from Andy's house. This is a big level, and the devs knew it, so they sprinkled rocket boots around to help you out. Too bad that doesn't mitigate the tedium of climbing up onto the plane and waiting for it to reach the platform you want to visit. Or the fact that, like an airport runway, the level is big and empty. It's like Forza Horizon 5's Mexico. All the interesting places have been pushed to the outer boundaries of the map. Except for the center, where Slinky wants you to navigate a path without jumping or touching the sludge to get a token. This light puzzle was deceptively simple. It took me a moment to figure out which buttons to push, since you're only allowed 3 button presses before it resets. But the blacksmith fight was mindless. His shockwaves home in on you and last for ages, so it's quicker to just tank the damage and keep hitting him. Perfectly emblematic of the tedium of this whole damn level. Maybe it's just as well that I was left to wonder what the last level was going to be like. I don't know what I would have come up with, but it would have been a lot more exciting than this. With that out of the way, it's time for the final showdown. Unlike the film, Buzz actually boards the cargo plane Woody and Jesse end up on, rather than Woody coming to save Jesse, and Buzz supports him from Bullseye. It's suspiciously quiet in here. But there's Woody and Jesse. Uh-oh. Well, look who it is. Now it's on. It's implied that all 3 of these are characters from Woody's Roundup, and they're all back for a rematch. They were down, but not out. And obnoxiously, only one of the 3 can be damaged with your laser. Fighting all 3 of these guys at the same time is a pain. Although on my first attempt recording this game, I did make my life easier by making them separate. That way I'd only have to fight them one at a time. Not so much here. I just threw myself into them because I was close to finishing and wanted to be done with it already. If you lose all your health in a boss fight, you lose a life, but your health resets. Theirs doesn't. So you can fight the boss, die, then finish him off when you respawn. So that's what I did. With my health reset, I kept on wailing on the prospector, and wailing, and wailing, and then I did the same to the blacksmith. Ignoring the damage he was dealing to me, I kept on hitting him until he went down, then finished off the prospector. Whew, that was something. And with that, Woody and Jesse are saved, and the game is over. We all know licensed games don't have a great track record, but this one stands out from the crowd in the best way possible. Great gameplay, fantastic music, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. You can get all 50 tokens in around 3 hours if you know what you're doing. It's a great game based on a great movie. Arguably the best movie in the series, because we sure as hell know Toy Story 4 and 5 aren't. But this is a series about games, so I'll spare you that tangent. If you're gonna play the PC version, I recommend these patches. Otherwise, go with the PlayStation version. It's the best of the bunch. That's all I have to say. See you next time.